My name is Burl Harlan, and I have written Hidden Creek Ranch and The Arrival of Tom and Jenny. Hidden Creek Ranch is a story of a cowboy and his family and the trials and tribulations that they face, like we all do. And The Arrival of Tom and Jenny is part of this. It's a cat story, two cats, and they come to the ranch and take over, as cats tend to do. I have another story that's coming out very shortly, based in Brownsburg, Indiana, of an Indiana businessman, and I hope that's on the bookshelves this fall.
I'm Suzanne Smith, and the reason I became an author is because I cannot keep on writing. I have to write to get it out of me. It's there and it needs to get out. So that's basically why I write.
Okay, and do you have a story in the...
Yes, I have Joe's story. Dave Greenwood Teacher is the story of my student. He's an adult literacy student. I'm a tutor at Indy Reads, and I taught him, and it's his very heartwarming, heartbreaking story. And I'm also in the trilogy of inspiration books, and I've got a new book coming out. Humor book with essays, and it's Laughter, the Best Feminine Protection, and it shows the trials and tribulations that women have to go through putting up with men and homework and kids and remote controls and the whole thing. So that's basically why I write, to get the frustration out.
All right.
Hello, my name is Carmen Glenn, and I am a local author. I write because I love to write. It's relaxing, it's enjoying, and it's a sense of accomplishment at the point that you complete a project. I have contributed a short story to the 12 Writers from the Heartland anthology. I've contributed a work of fiction, and in addition, I have completed 2 novels, the first being Overdrive. Overdrive is a bit autobiographical. It includes some struggles and stressors that I myself experienced in my lifetime related to working in corporate America. And after Overdrive, I completed a sequel to it entitled Ambition. And Ambition continues the story, of course, of Overdrive, but in a unique kind of way. I plan on doing one more book to complete this series, and then I plan on moving to second.
My name is Gail Bradford. I live in Greenwood, Indiana. Although you may be looking at a 70-year-old identical twin, I'm really a 12-year-old boy in my mind. And I write children's stories from the perspective. Lots of life experiences, and I draw from those stories.
Hi, I'm Lou Harry, and I've written a wide variety of books, everything from Dirty Words of Wisdom, the only quote book that contains all profanity in every quote, to the Superman Guide to Life, to the Complete Excuses Handbook, to In the Can, the Book of Movie Flops, to tons of things that I don't have here. Look on Amazon.com, Lou Harry, you'll find it. Anyway, why did I become a writer? Because massive debt is a great motivator. You got to do everything humanly possible. I became a writer because I love telling stories, I love communicating, whether nonfiction or fiction. My novel, The High Impact Infidelity Diet, if you want to look at that, it's probably in the library, so you don't have to buy it, you can just borrow it. It's kind of interesting, though, being in a library and selling books, because everyone who comes through the door is here to get free books, because that's what they can get out here. And we're here selling them, which is kind of a little odd. But it's nice to be here, because we're connecting, we're talking to people, life is good, we're schmoozing, and, that's what happens. So I became an author in order to come to these events, to meet these lovely people. And I'm not being honest at all. So I have an excuse. I didn't get much sleep last night, so that's why I'm rambling. But it is good to be here. I'm not sure where this is going to end up appearing. If it ends up on YouTube, that's fabulous. That'd be a good thing. If it ends up on YouTube, by the way, and you happen to be a theater producer, my play, Midwestern Hemisphere, it's having its world premiere with a professional production here in Indianapolis. But by the time you see this, it's probably closed. So, but your local theater might want to do it. So have them get in touch with me. MySpace.com/Lou Harry, Louharry, not that LEW stuff. Because I mean, who really does the LEW business? Nobody. Lewis and Clark, but that's last name. Doesn't count. LOUHARRY. Thank you for your time. Our lovely. It's a shame you don't get a chance to see the photographer here because she's absolutely lovely and a delight. And I need to cut off here because they're going to throw things at me. So be well. Read books.
Hi, I'm Deanne Grecu. I'm currently featured in a book entitled Inspiration from the Heartland, published by New Century Publishing. I have in that book 2 poems and 4 short stories. And I have a new book that is in progress, ready to come out. And it will be 43 poems and 10 short stories. I write for everyday people. I write things that happen in everyday life. Yeah, people tend to think that their lives are boring, but I see life as an extraordinary experience, and I try to write about that and bring across my viewpoint on how wonderful life is.
My name is Craig Gosling, and I've written a series of children's books and some adult books, some poetry, and some children's stories. I'm a retired professor from IU School of Medicine. Not in this for the money. And I'm just having a lot of fun writing and probably giving away more books than I've sold. But they've been serialized. Some of my books have been serialized in the Saturday Evening Post, so I've got a fair amount of publicity and sold a fair amount of books. Enjoy being here, and it's great for Greenwood Library to offer this opportunity to all of us authors here that normally most of us are self-published, and so this is a wonderful opportunity. I thank the Greenwood Library.
Okay, my name is Phil Dunlap, and I write historical westerns. And sold my first book to Avalon Books, which is a big library supplier. I suspect you have some of my books in your library. In 2004. I have been writing for probably 25 years, but that's the first fiction novel I sold. And I have since sold 5 novels. 4 of them are out in hardback, and I have a paperback and an ebook, both coming out in late May, early June this year. And they're all westerns, of one sort or another.
My name is Denise Nickel-Bonadilla, and I've written The Talent to the Sea. It's a murder mystery. The story is about 5 women that form a football, and while their family thinks they're sipping tea and discussing Greek literature, they're out solving a murder mystery. And I've always been a writer, and the idea for this book came when sitting around with some friends of mine. I just thought about how incredible they were in the book club and how people pass them every day and think that they're just average. And I thought we all have so much more inside of us than what others believe that we have. My name is Patty Poe, and I have written a book called Listen to the Crickets. It is a collection of stories growing up in the 1950s and 60s in Indiana, Northwest Indiana to be exact, and it has a Christian aspect to it. When I was a little girl, my grandmother was a librarian, and I used to go to the library with her all the time, and I loved to look at the books on the shelf. And I always wanted to see what it would be like to feel, what it would be like to have a book up there. But I had written about my experiences.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Brien, Greenwood resident. I have written 2 books on football. Mizzou Raw, Memorable Moments in Missouri Tiger Football History. I'm a Missouri grad. And another, as with the Missouri book, co-written with one of my best friends, Mark Mays, Tales from the Washington Redskins. I don't know why I became an author. I've been writing, I guess, since I could write. Went to journalism school at Missouri, was a sportscaster for 20 years, and after getting out of that, writing books or a screenplay, as I've done, seemed to be a natural progression.
My name is Pete Cava. I've been an author for about the last 10 years. My first book was Mom's Handy Book of Backyard Games. The second book was called Tales from the Cubs Dugout. And with the Cubs, it just never works out. And when I wrote the book, I dedicated it to my wife, who's a diehard Cubs fan. Okay? The dedication says, to my beloved wife, born 5 days too late to see her Cubs in their most recent World Series. Okay? When the book comes off the press, I present it to my wife. open to the dedication. As she reads it, I see a tear form in her eye. And I think this is better than champagne and roses. And she says to me, "You idiot," and everybody knows how old I am. So the Cubs, you can't win.
All right.